I like my women like I like my swim goggles. Wet, tight, and on my face. I like my women like I like my
U.S. mail.
U.S. mail. Priority. Handling my package delicately. I like my women like I like my cake. Upside down, full of cream. I like my women like I like my mom. A really good person. Super duper sweet. And not here. I like my women like I like my dad. All right, guys, get off the Pornhub already. We're like a wholesome show. Coffee, swimming pool. They're all like getting creepy with it. They're like, come on, bro, do it.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. Yeah. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, now listen to a pocket party. Pocket party. They're wrong.
And we're back. Hey everybody, it's your host Darren Carter, the party starter. Check out my dry bar special. Go look for dry bar. Darren Carter, dry bar special coming out. And you're not going to believe this, you guys. I'm actually in the flesh. I'm here in a parking lot standing next to the one and only Mr. Mike Black.
Yeah, we're coming to you live from Vaughn's. There's a Starbucks here. There's a Red Cross, a place just called Japanese Food. Post Annex, Shoe Renew, Nail Garden, Sterling Cleaners, Fantastic Sam's, Lotus and Light, Starbucks Coffee, and who did they just add, Darren?
See's Candy. You heard it here first, folks. Se's Candy.
Right next to the urgent care.
Yeah. The urgent care, but by the way, the reason that we're here is, a lot of times we'll do the podcast over the phone or we'll just, and tonight we're like, hey, let's meet at the Comedy Store parking lot. And then that didn't work out. So we're like, let's meet at Bob's Big Boy in Burbank.
What were they doing over at Bob's?
They were power washing. They were like,
for probably the first time in the last 35 years they power washed.
They're like, there's a lot of gum in that parking lot.
Bar. Yeah. And there's still stuff that Jay Leno spilled 20 years ago.
I went to the Hot Rod show on the weekend. I'm like, they got the Bob's Big Boy in there.
I just leave my trash everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I think there's a Vaughn's that's open, and so we went to this parking lot and get this. So there's a Panda Express, a BB's, an Urgent Care, which that Urgent Care used to be like a pet store.
BB's is breakfast and everything.
Oh,
breakfast is everything.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't have my glasses on, so you're able to see further than I am.
And there's what looks like Hodgewick Tavern.
Yeah,
or Hedgewick Tavern.
It's something. Roguelike. I think it says roguelike.
Roguelike Tavern. Yeah, there's a tree in front of where I'm seeing. Food, cocktails, and entertainment.
Yeah, and by the way, somebody just walked by us, so I'll kind of watch your back, you watch mine.
Yeah, there's a guy who looked like he might have a machete on his person or something, but he didn't seem interested in us.
That's good. He's like, I got to go to that Vaughn's. Maybe he has to do some, I'm going to turn my alarm on.
Okay.
Just in case we have to
I
run.
don't know what that,
my car alarm. So then,
how do you think that will help?
I don't know. We'll circle the car like a dog when a dog chases you. We'll just be like, you'll have the machete, clang, 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 and then yeah.
I don't think he's gonna clang his machetes together before he kills us.
Is this recording? I don't even have my glasses on. Can you? Oh yeah. This is recording.
It is.
I think so. It should be like. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
we're good. So check this out. It's recording.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
So I was going to tell you something.
All right, it better be important.
So that what you just saw over there, where it says Se's Candy.
Yeah.
you really go, oh, See's Candy, like, because they totally, like, all the windows are blocked out. I didn't even know it was a See's Candy until you announced it to me.
Right.
Do you know what that used to be?
I don't.
Jenny Craig.
Ooh, they really flip-flopped on
They did. That used to be
what goes next to urgent care.
Dude, that used to be at Jenny Craig. People used to go there to get their little meals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now those exact same people go to get loaded up on fudge.
That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, dude, I can't wait to go there and get some peanut brittle.
Yeah. What sucks is someone did it,
I know.
Like someone dropped 200 pounds.
I know.
And they're like, I haven't been to Jenny Craig in a while. I'm going to go by and say thanks to those guys. And they got there and they're like, there's a sale on Scotchmallow bars. Those are my favorite. Butterscotch with marshmallow and fudge and nice milk chocolate. And I should probably pick up something for my friends that help me lose all the weight.
Oh my gosh. I know. They're probably thinking, okay, I'll go to that Starbucks, get a little caffeine, and then I'll go get
my nails done, get some Japanese food.
Yeah, and then I'll go to Jenny Craig, get my meals for the week.
Go to the Hedgehog Tavern, and
Dude, the Hedgehog Tavern. Yeah, and then they'll go there, and it'll be like See's Candy. It's like,
right.
I guess I'll take some nuts and chews.
And then they are immediately sent over to urgent care when they have a heart attack from all that stuff.
I know. That's like if that'd be like if you used to go to AA meetings, and then now it's like a bar. It's
right, exactly. And then what sucks is they get patched up at urgent care. And they're like, okay, you got to get back on track and get healthy. And they're like, right away. I totally understand this time. See, this time it's going to be different. Wait, BB's is having farmer's breakfast for $4.99. Well, I should probably, just because I'm here, do that. How many calories is that, BB? 3,000 a plate. That sounds reasonable. I'll do that. I'll give that a shot.
Yeah, I can't believe they did that. They literally took a Jenny Craig, and now it's a See's Candy. It's just like, you couldn't write that. I feel like Johnny Craig, you can't make this stuff up, folks. This is
wild. What was it before that? Was it anything before that?
What I remember, before Jenny Craig, I mean, it was probably closed for a long time. It was some weird store, but I do remember years ago when I used to drive by over here, that used to be a video movie rental place. You used to be able to rent movies.
Do you remember the name of it?
I want to say Lakeside Video, but I could be wrong.
Video.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was called.
So I know at least one of our listeners still has something checked out from there, and they're like, "Nah, I don't ever have to pay for it."
Yeah, Lakeside Video.
Did you ever work at a video store?
I never did. In fact, man, that's you're a lot of. I was gonna say you're into movies, but most people are into movies.
Sure.
And I always liked the idea, like, I'm gonna watch a movie, and I'm gonna go to a movie rental place, and I used to get excited to go, and then I would just walk up and down the aisles, and nothing really looked good for me, and then I just killed 90 minutes looking for a movie, and then I just was like, I don't want to do this.
You're like when the people that do Netflix, and they just scroll through all the titles, and they're like, that could be good. That could be good.
Yeah.
That could be good. 4 hours later, they're still like, I don't know.
I know. That was me. It was me all the way. So I was like, same thing with Blockbuster, all that kind of stuff. Occasionally I would watch a movie,
Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many movies I haven't seen, and I also, I think for me, it's even harder now because.
Do you have a favorite? Well, all right. Let me ask you this, because Halloween's coming up.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite scary movie?
That's another thing. My wife, she doesn't like scary movies, so I'll be like, "Hey, honey, let's." And she's like, "No." Although I will say this.
That's kind of the point.
I know, exactly.
Then she jumps in your arms, and then the nookie starts.
Hey, honey, all right. It's all about the nookie. No, I'll tell you. You know what? As a family, I'll tell you, there is a scary movie that we can watch. It's not that scary, but thank God I got her to watch it. And it's Young Frankenstein. Gene Wilder.
That's a great movie. That's not scary at all. That doesn't even count.
I think she freaked out in the beginning because it's black and white, and it looks like it's going to be. And then, of course, you realize
it's done. It's the way Blazing Saddles was an homage to all the westerns. It was an homage to all the Universal horror movies.
Yeah.
And specifically Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, starring Boris Karloff. And what's great is Mel Brooks loves movies so much that a lot of the castle and a lot of the shots and the way it looked were direct copies of the shots of those movies. But just funnier versions of it. And he got people in there that weren't super well known. Like, you remember the blind, kindly old man that takes him in and keeps spilling hot coffee on him and setting him on fire and all sorts of stuff, but he's just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
That's Gene Hackman.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know that. Until you hear it and see him, you're like, oh yeah, I kind of see him under the beard there.
Who's the guy that I was thinking of? The guy that had he looks around like this. And
Igor.
Igor.
Marty Feldman.
Marty Feldman, that's right.
Great character actor.
Gosh.
Died way too young, but a really, really funny British character actor.
Oh, and I remember that song. Remember, she's got Betty Davis eyes. Remember that song?
Yeah.
So I remember there was on Dr. Demento, somebody played a song. Something like, he's got Marty Feldman eyes.
Feldman eyes.
Do you remember that one?
His eyes were very striking.
Yeah.
They were very cool.
Like they would bulge out. He could do that thing,
I remember he had the one of the more iconic moments in the movie was when he goes, walk this way, and he kind of slumps, and then Gene Wilder just starts walking exactly like him.
Yeah, and I remember like putting on the Ritz, right?
Oh yeah, with the great Peter Boyle as the monster.
Yeah,
who had a really tough part because he couldn't really talk through the entire thing, but he was just hilarious all the way through, and it was such a great parody of those movies. But you watch those original like Universal monster movies in black and white and everything, and they're not like jump scary or really gory or anything like that.
Yeah.
But the mood that they build is so powerful.
I love that
and
stuff.
So eerie, and they made the creatures look so credible in a weird sort of way. Like they did things for Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, where like they extended his fingertips because they talked to morticians, and morticians told them that like all the blood kind of goes to your extremities when you die, and your nails turn black and they continue to grow a little bit. And so they like used all this research and ended up making him look just terrifying. Like the people in the 40s and 50s had never seen anything like that, so it was just like insane. And you go even further back to like the Phantom of the Opera with Lon Chaney Sr., who's known as the Man of 1,000 Faces. He did his own makeup. He designed his own makeup for Phantom of the Opera. So anytime you see him in that movie and you see his face when he's unmasked and how hideous it is,
wow,
he did that himself. Not only was it like revolutionary makeup, but it was also waterproof because the Phantom has to like swim through canals and stuff like that under the Paris Opera House.
Oh, wow.
And so you'd see him like emerge from the water wearing this hideous stuff, so people just assumed it was real. It was
that must have been
crazy.
so freaky, like you said, to see that for the first time. I used to love growing up in Fresno, California.
Yeah.
KMPH Channel 26, the Creature Features.
Oh yeah.
Saturday afternoons. I think they did in a lot of towns, right? They would show like these scary movies all day, but they were like, they were movies
like
from
the ones
50s
like Them, where it's all these giant ants attack a
stuff
town
like
and
that,
stuff like
or
that.
It would be a lot of
Godzilla.
I remember a lot of like Vincent Price.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know the
best.
names of these movies. I just remember it was like these fun, scary movies that were scary, but not. They were like probably black and white.
Yeah.
And, but they weren't.
Every year around this time they play
great.
Thriller with his rap.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand.
And he had such a good reading on that. And now they've released the like alternate takes of him where he's like, he does his laugh and then at the end he's like, oh, that was a lot of fun, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And
with Kermit the Frog, I've seen some Kermit the Frog, Vincent Price stuff together.
And he did a reading of Edgar Allan Poe's Telltale Heart for, I think it was just like for public broadcast or something.
Yeah.
And it's tremendous. He was just so good at what he did, and just such an interesting actor. One of my favorite performances of his was one of his last in the movie Edward Scissorhands. He played the inventor that creates Johnny Depp's character. And have you ever seen that movie?
No.
It's it's not scary.
Edward Scissorhands?
I think it's actually a really good holiday film. Like, this is a perfect time of year to see it. But it's one of Vincent Price's last roles. Tim Burton was a huge fan of his. And it's one of the first times that I can remember where he got to play a good guy, like a good person. And he's kind of teaching this robot that he built how to be a human being, and he's terrific in it.
That's cool. That's cool. I was thinking about that. The last scary movie that I saw where I actually got scared, I didn't like it, and I wouldn't want to see it again, was Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
It was one of those. I don't know which one it was.
Paranormal Activity.
It was one of those where there was lots of jump cuts.
It's with the couple.
I don't even
remember. And it's like all done like on nanny cams and stuff. Yes. It was one of those, genre. And they would do a thing where they would show like they'd put a camera, let's say, on an oscillating fan. Yeah. And so the camera's going back and forth. And then suddenly someone's there.
And then suddenly, exactly. Or like some keys move all of a sudden. It's like, why'd those keys move? And it's just so silly.
When the wife would just like get up all of a sudden, but she doesn't. She's like sleepwalking.
Right. And that's the kind of thing I was like, I don't, when people are like, let's go watch a scare, I'm like, I don't like that because they're just freaked.
So you don't like the ones that are like
jump cuts,
jump scare realities type.
No, I want to see.
How do you feel about like Nightmare on Elm Street? Did you ever see that with Freddy Krueger?
Yeah, I saw that. Would I see that again? Knowing that I could kind of giggle at it and laugh at it, I would probably.
Or like the Jason movies.
You know what I like? Yeah, like those. I'll tell you another one that I saw that was really good, and I almost forgot that it was like a scary movie. Was I remember a few years ago I saw The Shining because I'd never seen The Shining, and a buddy of mine. He goes, hey, we used to watch The Shining, and I had a night off, and I went to his place, and I remember I was like, we're gonna make a night of it. I want to watch, and I knew that it was gonna be like
it's a good Stephen King based Stanley Kubrick,
Jack Nicholson, and I heard
some
so
of the
much
best
about it.
Artists of that time.
Here's Johnny, and I remember hearing that like the first hour it's gonna be slow. It's a lot of build up, so I was prepared for it, and just the beauty of it, the whole story that they're at this lodge in the middle of the mountains, and they're snowed in and
getting cabin fever,
right? And there's there's no way out, so here's all your supplies. You have access to the hotel. You can go down. The whole I love that movie. Like the whole idea,
the way it's shot, the way it's
exactly
the way the hotel itself is kind of a character.
Yeah, you start picturing like, what would it be like if I had to like stay at this hotel for 6 months and be snowed in, and and Scatman Crothers was in it.
Just the patterns of like the carpet and stuff like that were just creepy enough. Like even before. And they do a brilliant thing in that movie that a lot of people don't really notice. But on orientation day, when the guy's like guiding him around, he's basically telling the audience, this is the layout of this place. And this is where all the shit's going to go down. that's terrible. But you'll know kind of the lay of the land when the movie gets going, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like, man, it was.
And Nicholson... Shelley Duvall too, for that matter, but Nicholson just knocked it out of the park in that part.
They were so good.
He was so unhinged, and that word's overused a lot now, but he really was in that movie. And just so menacing, and like that scene on the staircase where she's swinging the bat at him. I mean, come on, that's. How can someone be that terrifying when they're unarmed and the other person has a baseball bat?
Yeah.
It's like, you were just like, get out of there, lady, get out of there,
Yeah. That's the kind of movie when you're watching a movie and you're telling the TV like, don't go in there, don't do that. That's when you're sucked in. You're like, oh, I'm all in on this story. I love it.
One of my favorite moments like that, I saw Scream 3 at midnight. The night that it came out, and I don't know, are you familiar with those movies?
A little bit.
Basically, they follow kind of a trope of a girl that has survived a bunch of the movies is like the main character, and so the main girl in the movie does something really stupid at one point in there that's like, this is probably going to get you killed. And a guy 2 rows back behind me yelled at the screen. He couldn't help it. He yelled, "Bitch, you lived through 3 movies." And he, like, it was exactly what everyone else was thinking. He just put it into words.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, that's brilliant. And everyone just died when he said it.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you're smarter than this.
You're better than this. Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you get, like, the best horror movies get you to where you care about the characters before they start killing them off. One of the most brilliant ones, in my opinion, is almost 2 separate movies. The movie From Dusk Till Dawn, which it stars George Clooney. It was like his big first movie, really. But it's him and Quentin Tarantino play 2 brothers that are bank robbers that need to get across the border. So they kidnap a family, and they're like, look, you get us across the border, we'll make it worth your while, and we're not going to kill you. So that's just help us get across the border, and that's it. And they're like, okay, so, we don't have a choice. You're holding us at gunpoint.
Yeah.
So they do. They get across the border, and they're like, all we have to do is make it through tonight. We're going to stay at this truck stop bar that's open from dusk till dawn, and we're going to just meet the people that our contacts are, and then we're going to let you guys go. And they're like, okay, deal. They get in there, but what they don't realize is that the bar is basically a trap for truckers to get eaten by vampires.
Oh, damn.
And so the bar has like 100 vampires in it, and it's this family and these 2 bank robbers have to survive the night trying to fight off vampires in this bar.
Wow.
And it was before he got famous for it. Greg Nicotero did all the makeup for it, who did The Walking Dead and those kind of movies. And it's a real fun movie to watch on Halloween, but it is gory and scary and fun. Danny Trejo has a great part in there as one of the vampires. Selma Hayek's in it. Harvey Keitel, some really, really good people. Juliette Lewis.
I was gonna say I saw Machete.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what genre it was. I remember going there, and I enjoyed it, but then about 10-15 minutes in, I was thinking like that doesn't make sense, and then I realized the type of movie it was because I didn't know.
A grindhouse sort of like
with puns and stuff. I think
what's really funny about that movie is there was a movie, 2 movies called Grindhouse that they put together that Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino did. One of them was Planet Terror, and the other one was Death Proof. But they made it like those old midnight movie showings, like creature feature type movies. So they were like, what we're going to do is we'll put a bunch of fake trailers in between. So they made a trailer for a movie called Don't, where a guy was like a Thanksgiving time murderer. And they did like another one that I forget what it was about, but they also did one for Machete, which was supposed to just be a fake trailer that they made, but people loved it so much that they started campaigning to get it made, and that's why they ended up making it.
Oh, that's cool.
And Danny Trejo starred in the fake trailer, and they were like, yeah, you got to make that movie because it looks too fun.
Come on.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you ever watch Grindhouse, it'll have that trailer in it, and it's almost exactly the same angles and everything.
Another thing I like to watch. I like to watch this year round, but I haven't watched it in a while. But I always like it when I can watch a good episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah. I haven't watched them in order, and I haven't watched all of them. But around Thanksgiving, they'll do like a Twilight Zone marathon on some station, and I'll catch one that I haven't seen before. And it's kind of like South Park or The Simpsons or one of those where you're like, this has to be the best episode they ever did, whichever one I'm watching. And then like another one will come along that's even better.
It's so, you're right. It's like a little mini movie. You're like, wow. Like I saw one where this guy's car broke down, and he's like, well, I guess I'll just walk into town, and then next thing you know, he goes back to his childhood. Remember that one?
With the carousel and everything.
Yeah, with the carousel.
And he meets his own father again and all of that.
And his father, is that one called Pip? Is that the Pip episode?
Oh,
He
I
was
don't know if it's called that. I don't remember.
Because there's an episode called Pip. I'm not sure if that's the one.
I want to say because...
But the dad, it's like Jack Klugman, I think, from The Odd Couple. I think that's the dad. I could be wrong. I don't know.
It's a different actor, but he...
Remember he knocks on the door and they...
Yeah, and he returns his wallet to him, and he's like...
he's like, who are you? Get out of here. And
yeah. And then he looks at the wallet and he sees that, oh, this is my kid. And he has that great monologue towards the end where he goes, maybe that's just how it's supposed to be. One summer per customer. You don't get to go back. And like he wanted to tell young him about like all the mistakes he's going to make and all that stuff. And he's like, don't ruin it for him. Let it, don't ruin his summer. Let him just enjoy himself,
Yeah, that's it. I think you're right. I think I'm conflating two different great episodes.
Yeah.
Like that's...
But yeah, that one is. I think a lot of people consider that one of the best ones.
The one with Pip. Oh my God, that's a sad one. I think it's Jack Klugman is the father. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I saw it, but same thing. His son. He hugs his boy. He's like, my boy, because it turns out his son died in Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
So when he came back and he was a little boy again, he's like, my son, I missed you so much, son.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's hard. It pulls on your heartstrings.
Yeah, they were so good at doing stuff that was social commentary on the world right now.
What's that noise I hear? Is it a...
That would be one of the many shopping carts in the Bonds parking lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what you expected to happen in a Bonds parking lot, but people are going to shop.
I wonder if this is the episode that goes viral.
Yeah, it definitely is.
That'd be funny. All these guys have like these, multi-million-dollar studios and deals, and we're like, nah, dude, just throw the recorder on the back of your car, eat some tacos from Taco Bell, and
which we did.
Yeah. By the way, those really hit the spot, man. Thank you, dude.
That was I was just lucky because they were like 10 minutes from closing, and I was like, I'm going to stop at Taco Bell and just get us a couple of tacos, just in case.
Man, that was amazing because I was really hungry, and I was like, usually I have like some trail mix or something. I didn't have anything, and I'm like, I haven't eaten in like 10 hours. But I was going to say, I went to Taco Bell a couple weeks ago, and it was interesting. It was not the best experience. The food was delicious,
right?
But it was all like it was maybe because it was all male, like a crew. They're all young guys. Like I pull up, and they didn't have any napkins in the bag. I'm driving off going, there's no napkins, like zero napkins.
Guys don't give a shit.
Guys don't give a shit, right? So I was like, you know what? So I circled around the building, went back and got in line again. But there was really no line. There was just one car ahead of me, which was previously behind me. And I was like, excuse me, I need to get some napkins. And guys, oh yeah, some napkins. Also, when the guy gave me the change, it was like, he gives me it was like two $1 bills and some coins.
Right.
Like he barely put it in my hand. Like it was all windy. Like the ones like started blowing around in the parking lot. Like it was really weird. Like
they may have been high.
Yeah, I think that's what was happening. They weren't. That's exactly what I thought.
You kind of need to be to do that job.
Yeah.
At that time,
Yeah, late night, Bakersfield, California.
Yeah.
I was driving through Bakersfield.
Yeah, they were definitely high.
Okay, but the food was good.
As long as the food's okay. But it's like you need to do something to pull an 8-hour shift at Taco Bell at night.
Yeah. How's So let me ask you some more Halloween stuff. By the way, I'm gonna post this in November.
Yeah, seriously. No. What did you ever dress up for Halloween?
I did. I wasn't that big into dressing up. I mean, my son, dude, he's shout out to us, the bass boss. he does all kinds. He's really into
he's really creative.
He's
about
creative.
It, yeah.
He loves it. They have these events at school. Like they're like one earlier this week was it was you can dress country or country club. And so he's like, all right, I get to wear my boots, my cowboy hat,
all his bumpkin activity.
Yeah, all the country bumpkin activities. Come on down, which is so cute because I remember last year when I have this pair of cowboy boots that are I never really wear them and they're squared at the toe and I go, I got these boots and I put the insoles in there and then I said wear these thick socks that way it'll be a little tighter on your feet. And I remember with those boots it probably gave him an extra like 2 to 3 inches of height. Yeah, and it was so cool because he was, he had just turned 15, so really he was about, he was like it was like seeing a little kid that's becoming a grown man. I go try him on, walk up and down the hallway, and he's like, oh, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm almost 6 feet tall. Oh, I can't believe it. I'm almost 6 feet tall. Yeah, it was so adorable, And now he's kind of grown into his body a little bit more, and now he's 16 years old. And
how tall is he now in reality?
I want to say about 5'10". It's so funny because
still pretty good.
I know I undercut it once because I was talking to a comedian that's about 5'6", and I didn't want to tell him that. So I shaved a couple, and then my son because you told him I was shorter than I, because
don't put that on a podcast forever.
I know
my son's 4'2". For life.
I don't want to make the guest feel bad. I know. I was like, I probably should have, but yeah. It was funny though, because this year he goes, yeah, those boots. He goes, they didn't make me seem as tall this year, because he's really getting tall. I think that's what's happening. He's growing into his body. But it's cool. Yeah. So I personally didn't dress up that much.
What was your favorite costume that you wore ever?
Dude, it's funny. I have 2 memories of Halloween that are pretty bad.
Oh no.
One, and I may have said this to you guys before, but I'll say it again. I remember once I was around 8 or 9, and my mom dressed me up like a mummy. Mm-hmm. And the way that she did that is she took a bunch of bed sheets and made and just kind of wrapped it all around my body.
Right.
And
except you couldn't go to the bathroom.
Exactly. Except for 2 places.
Right.
My zipper area, because she wanted me to be able to, unleash the beast. And then the second area was my glasses, because I wanted to be able to see. So you had these black frame Buddy Holly glasses, and then this zipper area. I must look like a little baby creep, I can see through my mummy outfit. And then my second thing, and it's funny, with the shaved head you could see it. It's back there. It's either on this side, or on this side. I grew up in a foster home,
right?
And one of my foster sisters, we were trick-or-treating, and we were both trying to get to the doorbell first, and she shoved me, and she was 5 years older than me, and she shoved me, and boom, I hit my head on the corner of the house.
Damn.
And ended up in the emergency room at a hospital on Halloween.
She wanted candy bad.
Yeah,
She'll
did.
probably go to this C's Candy over here.
Exactly. I know.
Rough up the employees for some fudge.
Exactly. So that was like a memory. And I have another Halloween memory from that
another
time.
Terrible thing.
This wasn't me, but there was we took in a foster kid for a couple days back then.
Okay.
Because I remember something happened. He got separated from his group. They were trick-or-treating, and then the story that was told is he was lost, and I don't know, who knows what the deal is, but I remember that happened too. That was near, I totally forgot about that until right now.
Damn.
Yeah, this is, these are sad memories of Halloween.
I talk about it in my act, but for me, it was no joke. Like, Halloween was great because you get to, for a fat kid, you get to go around and demand candy from everyone in the neighborhood that made fun of you all year.
Yeah.
So that part's great. The drawback is that you're fat whatever you dressed up as. It's Fat Dracula. I'm just Dracula. Please just let me be Dracula for one day. It's Fat Captain America. That got through my shield, and it really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I can do this all day. You can do ham all day, you fat ass.
Yeah. I want to suck your blood. You want to suck everything, you fat milkshake drinking.
Yeah, you want to suck milkshakes. That's what you want to suck. That Ninja Turtle really likes pizza. Just leave me alone. It's mostly shell. But yeah, so it's like that kind of thing was the roughest part. I did one year. I dressed as Beetlejuice. Did you ever see that movie? It's a great
I know what it is. It's black and white, and Beetlejuice.
It's not black and white.
His costume is black and white,
right?
Yeah.
But
and it's with Michael Keaton.
You should definitely see that movie because it's not scary at all. It's a really funny movie, and he gives an amazing performance in it. But at one point, his character gets horny, and he literally gets horny. He has these big spikes popping out of him because he's like a magical, impish sort of character. And so I dressed as horny Beetlejuice and came to my school. I made the spikes out of foam and everything like that. And the teachers couldn't decide whether it was inappropriate or not. And so they were like, we'll just let it go. Yeah. They're like, nobody, is going to get the reference, so it should be okay.
Here's what I noticed for myself, and you probably can fit right in with Halloween. For me, I've lost touch because it's like I have no idea what a lot of these costumes are now. Like back in the day, it'd be like, oh, werewolf, Frankenstein, mummy, ghost, goblin, Dracula, and now it's
some sort of like deep cut Power Ranger or like a Pokemon that nobody's ever heard of.
It's like these, even not even
Slender Man, stuff like that.
Yeah. Now Slender Man, I probably would know, because I've seen that, but even that character on your shirt, I don't even know who that is.
That is Doctor Strange. He was in 4 of the top grossing movies of all time.
Exactly. Like if you said, I know the name Doctor Strange.
You might be having trouble with Halloween.
Yeah, exactly, dude. You know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from, right? Like people are like, it's like a very popular video game character, and I have no idea who they are. I'm like, oh, that's
right, Pac-Man. That is Pac-Man.
Well, I would know all that. Anything I grew up, I would know Pac-Man. I would know.
They didn't. I wish they'd had a Pac-Man costume when I was a kid. There were some kids that made like their own out of cardboard that looked okay.
Oh yeah.
But like I would have gone nuts if they'd had like a Donkey Kong costume, or like Q-Bert or any of those. That would have been a blast.
I think I would recommend.
Now kids get like all the Mario Kart characters have costumes now. So
Oh yeah, I would recognize the Mario.
Mario.
I think I'd recognize that, but.
Yes. Kids don't know how good they have it. I was driving out to Frank and Son's Collectibles show out in, I forget where, like Montebello out that way. And there was a pumpkin patch that's all like the stuff you're into, bumpkin activities and stuff.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of bouncy castles that were like fancy bouncy castles. They had one that was the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars.
Wow.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. But the coolest one there was the Titanic, but it was at an angle where it was like looked like it was sinking.
Oh,
and
wow.
Kids could climb up it and then slide back down.
Wow.
It was really cool looking. I was like, kids don't appreciate.
Yeah, they don't. I know. I remember that when we were kids, we had to wait. Like if I wanted to watch Happy Days, I had to wait till it came on next week at 2. Tuesday 8:00 ABC or whatever it was. It was like
now it's on like 8 different streaming platforms. Whenever you want to watch
anything you want to watch. It's like there's YouTube clips. That's actually I love that.
Well, even this, like we've referenced all these different movies in this episode. People can listen to this and just go watch them immediately whenever they feel like it.
Yep.
Monster Squad. Did you ever watch that movie?
No.
That movie was great. It was like Goonies meets the classic Universal Monsters.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a really fun movie. The guy who wrote Lethal Weapon wrote it. And it had some really good actors. And they did some cool, even for like 30, 40 years ago, whenever it was, they did some of the best creature designs and stuff like that. Like they had a creature from the Black Lagoon that looked real. Like you were like, oh, that thing is terrifying looking, And they had a mummy that was all like what a mummy would actually look like if it was moving around. Like every time it moved, dust would like crumble out of it and stuff like that.
That's cool.
It was a good. It was like one of those that it bombed in the theaters, but now it has like this massive cult following.
Let me ask you this: so you go trick or treating. When do you know you scored? Like what is your favorite candy on Halloween? I'll start with mine. I knew it was good if I got like a king size Butterfinger. I'm like,
that is a good score. I don't even like Butterfinger, and that's still like you got a really good score if someone gave you a king size Butterfinger. For me, my favorite candy when I was a kid was Rolos.
Oh yeah, you could roll a Rolo to your friend.
Yeah, those like if I got anything with those, or they would do like the Starburst where it was like 2 of them in a little package, and you didn't know what kind you were gonna get, and you might get screwed and get the 2 lemon ones.
Oh man.
Or you might hit pay dirt and get the 2 cherry ones, and so each time you opened it was kind of a gamble. But I liked pretty much candy was my favorite candy, like Pixie Sticks, Smarties was a real favorite.
Oh, you like that kind of like tart stuff?
Yeah.
I didn't really like that. I would have been like, here Mike, you can have all my all this. Oh look, now there's a helicopter above our heads.
I like chocolatey stuff too, like Snickers.
I like Snickers, Butterfingers.
Kit
I like
Kat.
Kit Kats. I like the Reese's peanut butter cups.
Kit Kats were packaged well for Halloween. You know, where like you'd get like 2 of them in a thing. You know,
This is, guys, you know we're not in a studio when you hear a helicopter, a police helicopter go overhead.
oh,
What
it's
if
almost a full moon. I wonder if we're gonna have a full moon on Halloween.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
How about The Crow? Did you ever see The Crow?
No, I never did.
Brandon Lee, you never
No,
saw
I never. Someone got
Brandon Lee's last movie.
Yeah.
That movie is great, and it takes place partially on Devil's Night, October 30th, the night before Halloween. But it's a really good gothic sort of story. It's not scary. It's more like an action movie. It's like a goth action movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Brandon Lee is really terrific in it.
And did you like Whoppers malt balls?
Yes, I did. I loved Whoppers. You know what the best thing you could get, though? Anything, they don't really do a lot at Halloween, but anything from Cadbury is amazing. Like their Cadbury cream eggs or Caramello.
Well, that sounds good.
If you ever got like a Caramello at Halloween.
I wonder if See's Candy does anything.
Scotch Mellow. That is a bar made of marshmallow dipped in marshmallow with like a slab of caramel on top of it, and then they bathe that in milk chocolate.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
It's amazing.
That sounds.
I've seen people get in kind of fights at See's Candy over those.
Do you pass out stuff on Halloween or not?
I used to, but now I'm like an old single guy, and it's kind of weird. So it's like
you don't want to put on like the creepy music and dress up like a costume. And,
it's like
hello,
now
kid.
you're just a creep if you're scaring kids on Halloween. You know, you got to be careful. But what I'll do, this is such I've become an old man sort of thing. I'll put a big bowl of candy out in front of my door, but if I hear someone empty the whole bag into their bag, I'll open the door and I'll just go, put it back, and then they'll put it back. Put
it back.
Yeah, I'll go.
Don't empty that bowl.
I'll be like, you can take like a handful, but put the rest back. You know.
I remember when our son was really little, Os the Bass Boss. Go look him up, you guys. Austin A. Carter, a.k.a. Os the Bass Boss. One of his videos has 330,000 views on Instagram. He's a musician, and you'll dig his stuff. Anyways, I remember when he was really little, we took him to, he was dressed like Elvis, and we took him to Toluca Lake over there, you know, and Bob Hope's wife was still alive, and they still had the Bob over there on ledge.
Right.
And they had the security that would be working for the Bob Hope family.
Sure.
They would pass out things, and they would. And I remember one year we got some playing cards that said from the Hope family. It was
nice.
really cool, very very cool.
I heard that kids in Vegas would go to Red Fox's house because he would just hand out money.
Wow.
And then he went bankrupt a few years later. So
there was Frank Sinatra did a fundraiser for him. I remember hearing that in the book. I remember there was a guy in our neighborhood when I was a kid growing up. He used to give out silver dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, silver dollars, dude. Fresno, California. You get the silver dollar.
You figure even if just like 40 kids show up, you're losing some money.
Yeah, money. My wife was telling me that candy's very expensive now. Like a bag of candy.
It might be cheaper to give out dollars now than
it might be. It's
candy,
like I think it's like $18 for like a pack of candy or something.
Yeah, for like one of those big bags of fun size candy.
Yeah, and then silver dollar. Yeah, now you. What if you just said, you know what? Here's $300 worth of silver dollars, and you just
to one kid. That one kid's like, I'm going to Atlantic City.
I know. Oh my gosh. Well, Mike, I'm getting a little bit cold out here. I just wanted to.
I am too, and I want to pee.
Yeah. And luckily, they're open for 24 hours over there.
Yeah.
At the Vons. But hey, thanks for coming on the podcast. If you have any words of wisdom, anything you'd like to say?
Oh yeah, check your candy because people are still weird. Like when your kids get home, make sure and like check it out and make sure it hadn't been opened and all that sort of stuff. And wear something, whatever the costume is, wear something that glows.
Oh yeah,
It's
definitely. Oh yeah, we just always say, you know me. We love our flashlights in the
Yeah.
Carter family. We literally do the flashlights.
yeah, if they can light up
crossing-
even better.
Yeah, when you're crossing the street, the flashlights, and have fun with it, man. Get out there, have a good time, and then Thanksgiving we'll do another podcast in next week, and
that'll be good.
We'll hit
Maybe we'll do that one at Boston Market or something.
after hours and those because the chicken identifies as a turkey, and we'll do from a parking lot near you. We'll talk about all the stores.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, let's see if we have a story. Let's do we'll do a lightning round. We'll look at a store and you tell me a story about it, and I'll tell you it.
Okay.
Starbucks. Do you have a Starbucks story?
Starbucks. Everyone has a Starbucks story, I guess. I remember a guy tried to sell me the code to the bathroom at a Starbucks
Wow.
once, and I was like, I'll just ask them for it if I need it.
Yeah, he's like, hey, player,
Yeah.
you got a silver dollar? I heard you went trick-or-treating in Fresno
I did
with
not.
Tahoe Joe.
No, this guy did not sound that cool. He was just...
I remember I was in a Starbucks once, and they were on a first date, a guy and a girl, and she was telling the guy that she has several different laughs. She goes, I have different types of laughs for different types of situations. And then she proceeded to demonstrate the different types of laughs.
Ugh.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wrote it down.
What laugh do you have when someone throws hot coffee in your face? You know? Tee-hee.
Tee-hee. Yes. So what
How
about
about you, Fantastic Sam's?
Fantastic
What is your
Sam's?
Fantastic
I
Sam's
used to
story?
get a haircut at a place like that, and I remember when I was starting to go bald. What happens is your hair grows faster on the sides, above your ears, and in the back.
Yeah.
So my haircut went from every 6 weeks to at one point I got, because your head would become misshapen. Where
Yes.
I was starting to go into that haircut place every 10 days, and they were like. They're like, you don't need a haircut. Just come back in a week. You're good.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where they were talking me out of it, where they're like, you don't need a haircut.
Yeah.
You know?
Did they ever try and sell you product to
No,
minoxidil or anything like that?
No, because I was using Rogaine, but then I stopped using it because it smelled really bad, and
Yeah.
But my pillow was hairy. Heyo.
Aw.
Yeah, but you're supposed to do it twice a day, Rogaine, and I was like, man.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
good.
Who has the time?
I know,
to do that?
and
I'd
then
rather just go bald.
And it did.
you know?
And then once you start shaving, because I usually electric shave, it's just way better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Dry cleaners, I usually pick the stuff up. I don't have any stories on that. I love Japanese food.
I like that place just calls itself Japanese food. They're not putting on any.
Oh, you're right.
They're like, you know what you're getting. It's Japanese food.
Yeah.
That's
Next to Nail Garden, you pretty much know what that is too. And next to Shoe Renew.
yeah. These aren't. They're not trying too hard. They're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna get whoever we get. You know.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I got my shirt tailored once at a place like that, and I remember. I don't know if you've ever gotten a shirt tailored before, but it'll. You know what's cool about that? You can get a shirt at Kohl's or someplace, and then literally they'll bring it in and it'll tailor. The guy told me, he goes, you cannot gain weight though. He goes, you start gaining weight with this, your buttons are gonna pop. So
Yeah, that's the end of it.
yeah. So I got it tailored for a TV taping. So there you go. But Mike, you're the best. Have a great one, and make sure you get over there before that bathroom shuts down. And
Yeah, I may be shutting that bathroom
shutting
after all
it
the
down.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell drinks and candy talk. What about Candyland? You ever play Candyland when you were a kid?
Not really. It sucks.
Yeah, it's really for children. I mean, yeah.
It's Chutes and Ladders. It's just
yeah.
a different
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah, dude. All right, buddy. Well, hey, listen, you guys. Thanks for joining us on the Pocket Party Podcast. Do us a favor,
Happy
huge
Halloween,
favor.
you guys.
Happy Halloween. Go share it. Go share this link. Give it a. If you haven't given it a review yet on iTunes, please do. Please go to Apple and give it a 5 stars and a rating and all that good stuff. And like I said, thank you guys for enjoying part of your day with us on the Pocket Party Podcast. And hop on over to my YouTube, my Instagram, and see what we're doing. Darren Carter, Darren Carter.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.